I've done the spiel about being dedicated to helping you, my rebels, become the person you want to be. And that's been somewhat empty talk because I feel a little uncomfortable giving advice on self-actualization when I haven't really completed the process myself first. I'd say take out your papers so we can get geeky and nerd all over them, but we're not going to need them this time. Instead, we're going to talk about why the paper is so important in the first place. Today, we're talking about documentation. Who cares, right? But this is an important piece of the puzzle that a lot of people, including myself, miss. If you're going to make changes in your life, the first thing you really should do is figure out where you are to begin with. Let's say that you've come up with the goal of lowering your salt intake because you heard that too much sodium is bad for your health. Well, before you start cutting out the salt and opting for lower sodium versions of things, you probably want to visit your doctor and find out where your sodium levels are actually at. You may already be within the healthy or normal range, or you could even be low, and that's even more dangerous. It's important to find your baseline for any change you want to make, if for no other reason, to look back and see your progress or level of change. I have to be honest, this is one of the areas that I'm personally really bad at. I forget to keep records all the time, but this project has helped me get better at that. That's mostly by accident, though. I'm keeping track by giving you regular updates of my progress. So believe me, I understand the struggle when it comes to remembering to document. I am getting better at it, and by the end of this video, I hope you find the resolve to get better at it for yourself. When you're making changes, documentation is incredibly important. And when you're documenting, make an effort to be as thorough as possible. For my physical transformation, I've been taking pictures every week. And in addition, I'm taking measurements with the scale and the tape measure. A few weeks ago, I lost just over 1.5 pounds. Had I been taking pictures alone, I would have not been able to tell I had made any progress. I looked back and forth between the pictures of the previous week and the current one. Several times I thought I had made a mistake and not taken new pictures and just made duplicates somehow. Had I not been taking my measurements, I would have never thought to look at my hip area for a difference of a few pixels. Yep, I lost 1.5 pounds of ass. Which makes sense since I am working my ass off. But that isn't an area I'm looking to lose. That small bit of information tells me that I need to increase my exercises that will give me an increase in that area. And that's a tiny example of how documentation comes in handy. There are many areas where change is just not that concrete or evident. Let's say you want to get smarter, so you resolve you're going to read more. The simple act of keeping track of what you're reading will give you something to look back on and remind you of your progress. You could also keep track of how long it takes you to read something. This might help give you an estimate as to how you're improving. I wouldn't go so far as to give yourself a quiz on what you read to check your retention and comprehension, but it's an option if you want to go that far. It's highly important to know where you want to go, but it's just as important to remember where you've been. And it is no small feat to know how fast things are progressing. Documentation is the only tool in your arsenal that will help you achieve those last two. Sometimes you won't be able to see the change, and documentation helps with that. Sometimes you want to make the change go faster, and knowing what you've already accomplished and in what time frame will help you with that. This is why it's important to keep good records. Documentation is going to be one of your best friends if you want to make change in your life. Yeah, it's a little nerdy and geeky, but we're kind of all about that here. And we're going to take being nerdy and geeky from a perceived disadvantage, and we're going to turn it into our superpower. If you found this enjoyable or amusing, please share this video and help it find a bigger audience. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and otherwise follow me on social media so you don't miss out on what comes next. I'll be back Tuesday with another video. Stick with me, Rebels. We can do this. A little uncomfortable. I'll give you...